Okay, I'm Chase, and I'm here on Shop Talk with bdiamondleather.
Everything that happens is motivation. Everything that happens is motivation.
Tell us about the trucks that are in the shop here. And this is
Okay.
called the Bird's Nest?
Yep, so we call this the Bird's Nest. This is kind of a place where we like to come and hang out. C10 Club, this is kind of a hangout spot for us. The Bird family, Ray Bird, we're actually at Ray Bird Design. They do some really kick-ass cabinets and stuff like that. But they've got this area kind of set up. It's a hangout. Kind of got a little bar area over here. And so Keaton and Ray Bird will let us hang out here. 3 different trucks here. We've got Vern, Ernest, and this is 𝐿_Ray. 𝐿_Ray was actually a motorhome in its early part of its life. It's been converted. They actually they closed off the walk-through and fabricated this piece on to make it just like a normal 72 cab.
That's rad.
But it's a really bitchin' flatbed.
Like a full-blown motorhome?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Full blown. And that's why it's called 𝐿_Ray, is because that was the model of the motorhome. It was an 𝐿_Ray motorhome. So yeah, this is a big, I think it's got a 454 in this.
Now, do you know if there's
truck.
a difference between this whole front end of this year compared to a stock one of the same year? Is it bigger? Do you know?
Nope, same size
Okay.
as far as that. So this is a 72.
Okay.
The only difference, they start to change a little bit when you get into the 67s and 68s. 67s and 68s, you see they've kind of got a sloped hood. The fender's up here a little bit different.
Yep.
And a different grill. So.
And this is all original, right?
This one's all original. This is a 1970 with, I think, 34,000 original miles on it.
Dang.
So it's pretty bitchin'.
Yeah, that's pretty rad.
Keaton has this out at all of our club events and cruises, and so this weekend we're cruising up to Snow Basin. We're actually going to do a big breakfast up there. We're cooking out for everybody, and so Keaton and Ray will be there in these 2 trucks. So,
This is pretty nice for all
Yeah.
original.
yeah, it's pretty awesome. So all numbers matching on the engine and everything. This one's also a really beautiful restoration job. Just all the way around, just a gorgeous truck.
So tell me a little bit about your guys' club, the C10 Club.
Okay.
And then here's some friends and wives and
Yeah.
hanging out.
So C10 Club's a worldwide organization. We've been around for 25 years now. Started out in Southern California, kind of as a joke.
What part of Southern California?
Modesto, California.
Okay.
So, and I think that's actually closer to the central northern area, though. But a lot of our clubs down in the LA area is really where it grew.
Okay.
Down LA, San Diego area. But we've got chapters worldwide. Japan, Australia, United Kingdom, and Norway are some new chapters that we've had.
That's
including
pretty rad.
chapters in about all 50 states. So we've got C10 Club Alberta in Canada.
Now, is this considered a C10?
No, this is not. This is an SSR, but still pretty bitchin' at that. Wouldn't really be one that would come out to our club events, but if Sherry shows up with it, she's always welcome. So
Nice.
This is Keaton's mom's.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So what got you into C10s?
So in the 80s, my grandpa Clavel and I were really close.
Okay.
He used to come pick me up all the time in his 72, drive me all around the valley. In 1990, he got lung cancer, and he passed away. And he left the truck to me in his will.
Yeah.
And so.
And that was Grandpa Ray, you said?
It's Grandpa Bud.
Bub?
Yep. So we call it Grandpa Buds, is what we call
Buds,
the
okay.
truck.
Yeah.
And so I've actually owned that truck now longer than he has. I've had it for 34 years now.
Yeah.
I've restored it twice.
Okay.
But that's what got me into this community, into this scene.
Yeah.
Helped me fall in love with these Chevy trucks. And
Well, and we will post a picture of his truck right here. That way you guys can see the truck we're talking about.
I didn't bring it today. I should have. So.
It's all right. It's all right. So the C10 Club, not only did it start in Southern California, but it's all across the world.
That's right.
How did it get to Utah?
So about 2 years ago, I was doing something called Rocky Mountain C10 Mafia.
Okay.
We do a charity calendar every year for the American Cancer Society. And in doing that calendar, I caught the attention of some of the C10 Club guys in Texas.
Okay.
One of them, Alex Lopez, was actually included in the calendar that year. And we had some conversations, and there wasn't a C10 Club here. And so at that time, made the decision to drop the name Rocky Mountain C10 Mafia and start an actual affiliated C10 Club here for the state of Utah.
Okay.
And it's really just taken off from there.
Yeah.
We announced it. We've got about 1,200 members.
Dang.
In
Utah?
In the state.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Now, are you guys just primarily in Salt Lake City? Because right now we're actually in Salt Lake City. But are you guys just primarily here, or are you all across the state?
So we are end to end. So I'm the head of state for the entire state of Utah.
Okay.
We've got members in Moab, St. George. I've got some in Page, Arizona, right down there by Lake Powell.
Yeah.
And then as far north as Brigham City. And I've got one member that's in Preston, Idaho.
Dang.
So.
But all considered the same area?
Yep. And we, we'll all try to come together in the middle.
Yeah.
And then throughout the year, I try to travel as well and get down south or get up north.
So let's talk more about that calendar. Are you just finding rad C10s at different car shows? It doesn't necessarily have to be a part of the C10 Club. Or is it primarily C10 Club?
So I try to pick different C10 Club members.
Okay.
I try to get a good array of trucks from the state of Utah to showcase and promote the trucks from within my own club.
Yeah.
But then I also choose from other states as well. Oftentimes I'll like to choose maybe the head of state from the Washington Club.
Yeah.
Or something like that. It helps get them involved, and it helps also increase the reach of the calendar. That way those people in those other states will promote it and kind of push it out to their friends and relatives and kind of increase the footprint, so to speak, for the calendar.
So could I be on the cover of the calendar in my thong and in my El Camino? Is that possible, or is the El Camino not considered a C10 anymore?
So we love the El Camino guys, no offense, but that's kind of where we draw the line. We try to keep it to full size GM trucks, 1947 to 1989.
Okay.
And if a guy shows up in an El Camino or an S10, we're not going to tell you to leave. Of course, you're going to be welcome and hang out.
So it's not the thong.
You just might have to deal with some jokes.
Yeah, but it's not the thong, it's the El Camino.
We might want to see you in the thong.
Okay, good. I might have to get a C10 for that. Now, I mean, so you said you got your grandpa's truck in the 80s, right?
It was 1990.
Oh, 1990. Yep. So you have been liking and being a part of like C10s since C10s were like $200 a piece back in the day.
Yeah, they were cheap. Nobody liked them.
I can't believe the price of them nowadays. So, not that they're not rad trucks, but I remember, like, I started our club back in '97, and I mean, you could find C10s, short beds or long. I mean, short beds you can usually find a couple $100.
Yeah.
Or sorry, long beds. Short beds, usually $1,000, $1,500.
Yeah.
And there's a guy in our Canada chapter, his name's Delmo, and he started doing square bodies and the what are the round body, like that style called? Is that just
a C10?
Okay, just C10. So that kind of style C10, and he started building them. Then all of a sudden, you started seeing these C10s going for 50, 60, 100, 200,000 bucks.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think changed? Like, why do you think they went from a couple $100 to a couple $100,000?
I think for us, it's one of those things. It's kind of, it's something that we grew up with, and so I think there's a lot of that.
Like nostalgia to it?
Nostalgia, right?
Okay.
And we're around the trucks, and now we're finally at an age that we can afford them.
Yep.
And then there's so much customization and specialization that goes into these trucks these days, and so many different things you can do, from LS swapping them to putting them on bags to lifting them. I mean, guys, it's like an empty pallet when you get one, and you can kind of do what you want. And so I think that's what's really caused the craze to take off.
Yeah, no, I see that. And actually, I was surprised when I showed up and the garage door opened up that there wasn't actually a C10 laid out.
Yeah.
You know, these are, I mean, that's stock height. That's lifted a little bit. That one, I don't know if that's stock height, but I would assume if that came off the showroom floor, if it wasn't an RV, that would be probably stock height for a rig like that.
Yeah, that one's probably been lifted just a little bit.
Okay. But I like that it's
yeah.
different than what I picture a C10 to be.
Yeah.
You know, because I picture laying body and and all that, but this is rad. I really dig this a lot.
And we've got a lot of those in the club. We try to be inclusive. So, you know, I tell guys when they come out to our events, bring your project, bring your daily driver, park it next to the trailer queen. And we've got the trailer queens. We've got Jake Dominguez. He's probably got one of the most popular. It's 72 Debo on Instagram.
Yeah.
But Debo
he's
is
on
probably,
my list to get on Chop Talk.
Yeah, he's a rad guy.
Yeah.
Probably give you a great interview. But that's one of the raddest C10s, you know, in our region right now.
And
They
that's
have
a
that
Blazer
here.
though, right?
It is. It's a K5 Blazer.
So are the Suburbans and the Blazers considered C10s then?
You know, I call them all trucks. I say C10s. Is that correct? No. Would Jake like me calling it a truck? Absolutely not. You know.
Yeah.
But
no,
you know,
that's a really nice rig.
it is. Yeah. It
I mean,
is.
him and I, it's funny too, because there's been multiple like lowrider shows that him and I have both been to, and I always have won best lowrider in my El Camino, and he always wins best in show almost every time we're together.
Yeah.
So it is a really nice truck. I mean, a rig. It's a nice rig.
Yeah. Yeah.
So well, back to the calendar though. If someone wanted to buy the calendar, where can they go?
So you can buy the calendar through our Instagram page. That will start around the end of October is when they'll first roll out.
Okay.
I like to have those at our Truck or Treat Halloween show that we do.
Okay.
For everybody.
And what's the Instagram?
The Instagram is C10 Club Utah _official.
Okay.
We've also got a website, c10clubutah.com. And then we're on Facebook as well.
Okay.
So the way you buy the calendar is you go to our Instagram page and you make a $5 donation directly to the American Cancer Society. We don't touch that money at all. And then once you make the donation, I send you an email with a coupon code. Then you go to our website. The calendar is purchased for $15 through the website with the coupon code. If you don't have the coupon code, it's $20.
Okay.
And then I make the donation. The calendar's cost me about $11 or $12 to make every year.
I was going to say, you're probably not making any money off that.
No, we end up going in the hole every year, but that's part of what it is for me. C10 Club is about giving back to the community, so we find different ways all year long that we can do things, from supporting the Utah Food Bank to the American Cancer Society. Our meet this weekend takes place at the Other Side Donuts in Salt Lake on 760 South and Redwood Road.
Okay. What time's that at? Just think. Well,
that begins. That'll be at 7:30 a.m.
Okay.
That will be there. We'll only be there for a short period of time, probably only about a half an hour at the Other Side Donuts, and then we'll head to our cruise up to Snow Basin. We're hoping to be up there by about 9 a.m.
Now, for anyone watching, because this video will actually drop on Thursday, anybody watching that wants to attend that, does it have to be a C10 or is it open to anybody?
We try to keep our events just to C10s.
Okay, there's nothing wrong with that.
So you know, it's kind of, it is an exclusivity thing, and some guys don't like that, but that's what we're about, and to be able to hang out with like-minded people, and to park your truck next to another truck. April 30th, 2005. I'm down in Moab, Utah.
Okay.
My best friend and I went down there. I don't know if you've ever been down to it, but the last weekend of April every year they have the most bitchin' car show down there.
Okay.
And so we were down there for that. The campsite that we usually stayed in was really full, so we ended up a little outside the town by Cane Creek Springs. And we set up our campsite, hanging out all night, and peeing off the cliff that we're camped by. The next morning I get up, I start breakfast, I walk out to the edge of the cliff, and I woke up at the bottom.
And how far of a drop was that?
It was 80 feet. So 80 feet, and we think I hit a big boulder, kind of broke me in half, broke my back in 5 different places, compression fractures, L1 through L5, completely shattered my pelvis and my sacrum on the right side. And so I've got a lot of nerve damage in my right leg because of that, etc.
So do you have filling in your leg?
In some areas I do, in some areas I don't. In some areas none at all, and in other areas are hypersensitive, even worse.
I think, I don't know what would be worse, the hypersensitive or no feeling at all, because the hypersensitive, I'm assuming, just hurts.
Yeah, and nerve pain and phantom pain, if you've never had those, are excruciating, pretty rough.
So, I mean, I would assume, well, so how were you found? Like, what happened with that?
Yeah, so I fell off the cliff. I was down there for about an hour and a half before my buddy found me. My back was broke so bad, even my diaphragm, when it would expand to try to yell for help, it just was so painful. I couldn't sit up, couldn't move, and so I was throwing some rocks at the side of the cliff. He finally woke up and found me down there, and then.
So the tent was up top when you guys were out?
Yes, sir.
So what happened from there?
He hiked down to the ridge, the end, and he came in. Grand County Search and Rescue showed up. A couple of them rappelled down the cliff to me, and then they life flighted me out of there to Grand Junction, Colorado. I was there for 3 days, and they didn't even have the facilities to try to put me back together again, so they put me on a little twin-engine propeller plane, flew me up here to Salt Lake, and then I was in LDS hospital for a little over a month.
Well, I would assume going through something like that, you went through some dark days. You know, and I think that mental health and depression and stuff like that is a subject that no one really ever talks about, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How did that work for you? Like, what was going on?
Well, I mean, the accident was absolutely devastating for me. You know, I was very athletic, basketball, golf. I like to go running, etc. And at the time, my oldest son Charles was only 3, and so the thought of not being able to coach his baseball team, teach him how to ride a bike, do things like that. The thought of being in a wheelchair and being limited was devastating. Very, very difficult.
I could only imagine. Now, I mean, with the darkness that you were in, what do you think was that defining moment from having life be super dark to that switch where the light started coming in? Like, what helped you, got you through that for those watching?
My son Charles. So I mean, I had to learn to focus on the good, and for me at that time, it was that little boy and how sweet he was, and being there with me and wanting to help and be for Dad. And so it was my son.
I mean, 80 feet, that's a long way to fall.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have been able to tell with how you were walking up, never be able to tell that you had something like that happen, that you weren't, because you said that they didn't think you were going to walk, right?
Yes, yeah. I had to do, multiple different tests where they put big needles in my leg, and it was unknown at that time what function I would regain. And
yeah.
I've been very fortunate and blessed to be where I'm at.
That's crazy. So with that being said, kind of helps me transition into my next question. You're 44, right? Mm-hmm. So in your 44 years on this earth, what do you think you'd go back and tell your 9-year-old self?
Don't be off cliffs.
That's fair.
Be kind, love unconditionally, be a good person, treat people as you want to be treated.
It's amazing when you get a second chance at life and what you want to do with it and what you do with it, right?
Yeah.
This is part of Shop Talk where I do what's called rolling out the red carpet for you.
Okay.
So right now you're able to talk about whatever you want. Doesn't matter if it is charity, your business, or your work, whatever you're doing, whatever you want to bring up. C10 Club, the forum's open for you right now, my friend.
Well, I'll just take the opportunity to talk about C10 Club a little bit more.
Okay.
First of all, I would like to thank John Oro and Renee Martinez. John Oro is the president of our club. Renee Martinez is the founder. Great guys. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to have the chapter here in the state of Utah, to be involved and to give back to my community. It really means a lot to me with everything that we're doing in the community, not only with the Utah Food Bank, but with the Road Home, the Candy Cane Lane. Last year we raised over $4,000 in toys and household items to give to Candy Cane Lane.
That's right.
It's a really cool program that the Road Home does down there where they give the unsheltered people credit. They can go into the store and shop for the items. Gives them the dignity of being able to pick out the items for their kids and things that they really think that their loved ones would like.
Yeah, I love that.
So over $4,000 last year to them. We raised over $2,400 last year for the American Cancer Society through our calendar. And the big thing that we're rolling out that we've got coming now is our new collaboration with The Other Side.
Okay.
The Other Side is a relatively new organization in the Salt Lake Valley. They're doing a lot of outreach for the homeless population. They're giving unsheltered people mini homes down there where they get off the street, to get them away from drugs and addiction, get them involved in classes and teaching, and then also provide them the opportunity to work in the donut shop that they have set up there to kind of transition them back into the workforce.
Yeah.
So they're really doing some of God's work down there. We're really excited to be involved with them. I'll announce it on your show now, but we're going to be rolling this out every third Saturday of the month.
Okay.
C10 Club's going to be there. Trucks and Donuts, we're going to be there. We're going to hang out between 8 and 10 a.m. in the morning.
Okay.
We're going to eat donuts, we're going to drink coffee, and we're going to support our community.
I love that. Now, where can people find this information if they want to find it online?
Yeah, so you can find information at www.c10clubutah.com.
Okay.
We post all of our events there, etc. All of the information about the club, our outreach in the community is all there.
Okay.
You can also find us. We've got a big following on Instagram, as well as we've got a Facebook page and a private Facebook group just for our members.
Okay. And I will link all of those links in the comments below, so that if you guys want to go support what these guys are doing and head out to some of their events, it'll all be below. But with that being said, we're at the end of this video. I'm Byron, this is my man Chase. You're on Shop Talk with bdiamondleather. Have a rad week, everybody.
Thank you.